الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا
Kashmir has from ancient times been studded with innumerable holy sites. Pandit Kalhan, the celebrated author of Raj Tarangani, does not indulge in poetic exaggeration when he describes the valley of Kashmir as a country where there is not a space as large as a grain of sesame without a tirtha. The ancient centers of Hindu pilgrimage like Kheer Bhavani in Tulmula, Sharika Devi on the top of Hari Parbat Hillock in Srinagar, and several other temples still retain their ancient glory and popularity. Apart from such ancient sites, there is hardly a village in the picturesque valley which has not a local center of pilgrimage of a Muslim rishi or a Sufi of Central Asian or Persian background. The Muslim shrines are popularly known in the valley as asthans. There is little doubt that the ties of the vast number of Kashmiri Muslims with the shrines of the rishis and Sufis remain deep-rooted. The fact that the anniversaries of these saints are celebrated with great eclat testifies to the hold exercised by them over the local population. While such occasions have been significant for thousands of Muslim devotees in spiritual, historical, cultural, and economic terms, their importance for thoughtful students of the history of religion and society in the subcontinent can hardly be overestimated. Various rituals performed by the devotees at the shrines on the eve of the anniversaries of the rishis and Sufis raise fresh and suggestive questions about the historical role of Islam in the subcontinent. Our focus is on the most popular ritual of the recitation of an invocatory prayer called Aurade Fathiyya. Aurade Fathiyya was introduced in the Hindu-Buddhist environment of Kashmir by Mir Sayyid Ali Hamadani. Sayyid Ali came to Kashmir from Hamadan in Persia and is popularly known in the valley as Shah-e Hamdan. Although he is entombed at Kolab in Central Asia, there is a famous shrine in Srinagar known as the Khanaqah-e-Mu'alla, dedicated to his historic visit to the valley in 1384.
What has prompted me to examine the importance of Aurade Fathiyya for the students of history, sociology and anthropology is the pattern of behavior reflected by the Muslims of Kashmir during its recitation, the manner in which they recite Aurade Fathiyya aloud in chorus, or the manner in which Kashmiri Muslims offer salutations to the Prophet Muhammad shows that the Kashmiri Muslims did not totally part with their ancient mode of worship even after their conversion to Islam. This is not to suggest that Islam in Kashmir has lost its pristine purity or originality owing to a happy blending of Hindu, Buddhist and Islamic practices. What I want to suggest is that the beliefs comprising a given culture have important functions for the social structure and the personality of people in spite of seemingly great historical upheavals.
At the time of the recitation of the Aurade, it is not uncommon to see Muslims kneeling with their faces towards the site, whose symbolic function is that of a sacred place. The peculiar manner of Kashmiri Muslims of reciting Aurade in chorus, particularly its last portions, distinguishes them from Muslims of the subcontinent. The way in which the faithful, by the gesture of joining palms while standing, offer reverential salutations to the Prophet Muhammad, undoubtedly suggests local influence. It is also not an unusual sight to see the devotees bursting into tears, cries and loud lamentations at the time of the prayer. A clear picture of this unique ritual emerges in Khanaqah-e-Mu'alla, the earliest Muslim shrine in Kashmir. Inside the mosque, the right corner has been preserved as a sacred enclosure, since adjacent to it lies the chamber, the one-time abode of Sayyid Ali Hamadani. The enclosure has become an object of veneration. What is of critical importance is the focus of devotees on the abode of the saint during the recitation of Aurade. Prostration by individual devotees in the direction of the sacred enclosure is a common sight. The loud chanting of Aurade Fathiyya in the mosques and shrines of Kashmir has invited the criticism of the reformist Muslims in Kashmir's modern history.
The concern of the reformist Muslims over the loud chanting of Aurade Fathiyya may be valid or may not be valid from several theological standpoints. But as students of history, we are not concerned with such controversies of theological nature. What is of significance to emphasize here is that the recitation of Aurade Fathiyya with devotional fervor has something to contribute to the crucial question of convergence to Islam in Indian history.
Long before the advent of Islam in the valley, the marked characteristic of Kashmiris had been to assimilate into a new system with little or no explicit awareness. Hinduism, Buddhism, and in fact various forms of these ancient religions existed at the time of Islam's coming to the valley.
Sayyid Ali Hamadani did not take a narrow view of the religious susceptibilities of the Kashmiris of his time, the Buddhists and the Hindus. As a Sufi, he showed superb mental discernment and keen practical sense in grasping the essential elements of popular culture and ethos. He gave a creative expression to such elements of popular culture or folk religion by allowing his followers to recite Aurade Fathiyya aloud in chorus.
Significantly, the Avrad was compiled in such a manner as to embody the spiritual as well as the mundane aspirations of the people at the crossroads.
The popular image of conversion to Islam in Kashmir has been that of miraculous exploits connected with the advent of Sayyid Ali Hamadani. But on the basis of a critical examination of the sources, including Persian chronicles, hagiographies, and living phenomena, my endeavor has been to show that Islam in Kashmir is not simply a matter of theological propositions, but also a historical realization.
Islam, in fact, is not an abstract category independent of life situations. It is a huge historical movement of very long time periods, a consciousness expressed in the daily life and collectivity of different cultural systems.
That this consciousness is also revealed in the centuries-old recitation of Aurade Fathiyya in an atmosphere surcharged with deep emotions and fervor, emboldens me to suggest that conversions to Islam in Kashmir were effected more by the Kashmiris' urge to experience the divine in terms of love and not as a mere abstraction.
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا